Yo, how's it going, guys? It is another episode of coding tutorial. This time, because I went over a lot of things like that don't require CSS with HTML, but as I'm going on, I'm realizing that CSS is coming along way sooner than I thought. Ready or not, here it comes. But I am going to show you guys how to connect a CSS profile. You want to go to style.css for this one, and I'm just going to get right down to it. You have a style sheet right there. And then you got to interconnect this. So on Visual Studio Code, this is where it works for me. What I'm going to do is I'm going to right click, copy path, index, and then on the head, because under the title, you could go with a link, right? And you want to do, what is it? An href. You want to make sure it's a style sheet. Or actually, no, you want to have that to be that rel. Sorry. And then the href is going to be connected. You just paste. It is going to be a super long code. It's going to span across your thing potentially a long time, but I have it right here. It's nice and linked in. And then what I can do is just like the basics of how CSS works. Say I put in a h1, a heading. This is for CSS. Run, start debugging. There you go. But there's no style to it. But since it's already linked, what I want to do is H1. Then you want these curly brackets right here. You want to press enter so you have a tab space. And then what you could do, color. And then you could pick any color you really want. Let's go with red, okay? So I'm just going to show you how this works. And we're going to run, start debugging, install. And actually, here's a mistake I just made. You do have to do it from your HTML because this is the, and see it's red now because you were able to add style to it. That's good. And we're going over basically one thing. I don't know if I'm going to be able to teach everything that CSS has to offer, but I sure as hell am going to try, because once you realize and start really digging into coding, there's always more information that you can keep learning and using, and you're never going to have it all in your mind. When you're a coder, you're always going to want to look at a reference sheet. There's cheat sheets all over the place that you can download. I highly recommend those. There's nothing wrong with it. Background color, right? You got a background color for the body. I'm going to make it a green. And this is just how it's going to work. We're going to go back to index, and very important, you got to go to HTML because this is the web page. Style.css is not a URL or an HTML really, or any sort of like web page. It's all connected to the HTML, so you want to go through the CSS to style it, and then you go back to HTML to run it, debug it, etc. There you go. You got a green background. You got this. It's really nice. It's all that. Now what I'm going to do is do another header, right? H1. This is also for CSS. So you're going to have two headers. Let's go back. Run. Start debugging. You're going to have all sorts of things like that. So you're going to have here and here. This is CSS. This is also for CSS. Here's how things are going to go. All right. You're going to want to take a class to separate them. Let's go buddy. And then another class right here, because this is going to help really separate them. Enemy, right? That's basically what we're going to do. We are going to get rid of H1, and we're going to go dot buddy. And that's how we're going to make this happen. And then, because that's what you want to do for class, you want to do a dot, and then this. You could also do headers, dot. I go by classes in this scenario. It always depends on what you're doing, but dot enemy, you're going to want to go back like this. And then let's make the color purple. And hopefully I'm doing this right. It might be a little odd. But there you go. I did it right. I used the classes to use them. And this is just like the one-on-ones of CSS, just so you can know what you're working with. There's so many things that we're going to go over, like flexbox, grids, all sorts of things. We're also going to work back into HTML because that's how you're going to be able to separate areas. So I can have a green section, a pink section, a yellow section, a red section, all sorts of different types of things. But this is for CSS, also for CSS, different colors. The background's still the same. And that's basically just what it is. And there's so much to go over. Thank you guys very much for choosing this channel above anyone else. I'm glad I could share this information with you, passing on, because this is how I learn. I regurgitate to other people, and it really gets indented in my brain. Again, thank you guys very much, and I hope your guys' journey on learning this trade goes well too. Thank you.